Good evening, everyone. My name is Kari Hall. I'm meteorologist for NBC Bay Area's morning newscast. Today in the Bay, welcome. It is such a pleasure to have all of you here virtually to the Boys and Girls Club of Oakland's 32nd annual Salute to Youth event. Each year, the Salute to Youth celebrates and provides an opportunity to recognize the Youth of the Year, along with the accomplishments of all of our student members. And tonight, we are so privileged to have a number of special guests, including our Youth of the Year, Tyree. And we are so excited to also welcome Mayor Libby Schaaf. This evening, we will bring back the last year's Youth of the Year, Bree, who will be interviewing percussionist Pete Escovedo. And tonight's event also features 3 Fund a Need fundraising segments. So there will be plenty of opportunities for you to support the clubs. And we are counting on you generously for your generosity as the 3 clubs work together to recover from the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic and the many difficulties faced by student members and their families during this time. We will begin with some opening remarks from Mayor Libby Schaaf.
It is so great to be with all of you here tonight. I'm Libby Schaaf, Mayor of Oakland. And as many of you know, I have deep roots with the Boys and Girls Clubs of Oakland, serving as a volunteer and eventually a mentor all the way back to the mid-90s. It was this young man, Nathan Anderson, who I met at the Meltzer Club, who is still a very important part of my life today, 30 years later. The Boys and Girls Clubs have been providing safe spaces to let our young people thrive. And this was a year like none other, with our schools shut down and the club shut down for 8 months. Well, those doors may have been closed, but your hearts weren't. I know the clubs rallied their supporters and were able to provide delivered restaurant meals and laptops to club members and families during this very, very difficult year. And it was so great to see in November the clubs begin to reopen safely and give our children this incredible place to be and grow. Now, you are going to hear later on tonight from Emcee when she's going to ask you to consider funding some great new opportunities. In-person and online access to new STEM subjects, including coding and even drones. You know, we've all gotten better on technology over this last year. Let's take advantage of that and keep that spark of imagination and creativity going in our young people. But now I get to share with you a great interview between myself and Tyree, the Boys and Girls Club's Youth of the Year. You are going to see why this young man was selected and is totally going places. Please enjoy, and please give generously to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Oakland.
Tyree, tell us a little bit about yourself. Also, what's most memorable to you about your time as a club member?
I'm an 18-year-old senior in high school going to Clark Atlanta University next year. I started my own clothing line called the Elephant in the Room, which promotes being comfortable in the uncomfortable situations. And I would say the Boys and Girls Club has provided like a safe, impactful place for me just to grow up and learn and explore new things. I've been going there since I was very young, around 6 years old.
Wow, so you really grew up in the club.
Yes, definitely.
Tell me, how did you have the idea for that brand, this idea of understanding uncomfortable topics?
Just being the elephant in the room in general, just being comfortable with yourself.
I love it. That is a beautiful message, especially for young people. I'll tell you, even as the mayor of Oakland, I have uncomfortable moments, especially as a woman mayor. Lots of times I'm the only woman in the room. I always remind myself to celebrate feeling uncomfortable because it means it's the most important place for me to be, because my perspective is needed more than ever. Can I ask you some fun facts about yourself?
Yes.
You ready?
Yes.
Do you know what you want to major in?
Business.
Sounds like you already have a major in business. If you started a company by the time you're 18, that's awesome.
Yes.
Who's your favorite artist?
Jay-Z. Jay-Z is definitely one of them.
What's your favorite Oakland spot?
Jack London on Saturdays, because that's where I take my clothing line, and I usually sell out quick.
Do you have a favorite Oakland view?
Like I just mentioned, the Oakland Zoo, they have the little ride thing, carousel that carries you up.
The gondola?
Yes, that.
Do you have a favorite athlete?
Marshawn Lynch.
What do you love about Marshawn?
His charisma.
He's got some serious Oakland swag, huh?
Definitely.
And he has a great clothing line.
Yes, he does. Okay, I'm going to ask you a few questions. Can you describe your perfect day in Oakland?
My perfect day in Oakland has to involve, my family, my friends. It probably involves Lake Merritt. Like, who doesn't love being on the lake? Yeah. With the sunshine hitting the water, the cool ducks and birds.
Okay, so it definitely sounds like you spend a lot of time at Lake Merritt.
I lived on the lake for 15 years. I'm born and raised in Oakland. I graduated from Skyline High School. Go Titans. I still come down to the lake all the time. My mom still lives there. But it's like Oakland's living room. Everybody comes to the lake.
Yes, definitely. Okay, Stephen Curry or Klay Thompson?
Ooh, that's a tie. Depends on the day. Klay is gentle. He's so kind. I've run into him in the park. He lives in Oakland. But who can resist the charisma of Steph Curry? I got the pleasure of being interviewed by him in the backseat of his van for his YouTube show. So that was a pretty big thrill. I can't imagine a city that is more fortunate to have such great role model athletes as both of them.
Yes. Do you have your favorite taco truck?
Food-wise, I really like the one on Hagenberger. But as far as total atmosphere, like food plus nice place to sit is Taco Sinaloa. That's on 22nd Avenue and East 12th.
When did you know that you wanted to be the mayor of Oakland?
Honestly, right before I ran. I kind of fell into a political job kind of accidentally, in part because I just love the city. People are like, you're always talking about Oakland. You should work for Oakland. And then, I just had this moment where I thought there's this moment our city is in right now. Mm-hmm. There's this feeling of kind of opportunity, like we could finally see some revitalization in Oakland, some energy coming into the city. But at the same time, I did not want that energy to either pass us by or to push out people, our culture that is what makes us special, our secret sauce. I wanted it to lift people up, not out.
Why do you think the organizations like ours, the Boys and Girls Club, are important to Oakland as a city?
I have a long relationship with the Boys and Girls Club. I often say one of the reasons I decided to get into public service was my experience as a mentor at the Boys and Girls Club in 1996, I think it was. It was a long time ago. And there's something about having a place where every young person is honored, is told just how brilliant you are, and that this is not yours to figure out by yourself. that there's a whole community of people that are here around you to lift you up, to help you unlock how smart you are, how talented you are, and to be there with you, when times are hard. And that's what the Boys and Girls Club does.
You're not allowed to run for mayor of Oakland because of the term limits. As you prepare to leave the office, what is the one thing you wanted to be remembered for?
The Oakland Promise.
Okay.
The Oakland Promise is something we launched 2016. It is a cradle to career set of supports. It's kind of like the Boys and Girls Club on steroids, okay? It's we literally are giving every baby born that's Medi-Cal eligible a $500 college savings account at birth. That is what makes me happy, is seeing the incredible potential in young people like you, Tyree. Seeing that potential launched into the world, that is the thing that makes me happiest. That's what I'll be most proud of.
Who have you met that you were starstruck by?
Steph Curry's pretty high up there. Michelle Obama.
Oh, wow.
Michael B. Jordan. Marshawn Lynch. I mean, the list is pretty long. You get to meet some pretty cool people when you're the mayor of Oakland.
If you had to describe one superpower you would say you would have, what would it be?
I wish everyone would be kind and curious. I wish people would bring energy to the world and dig into things, and to do it with love and kindness and grace towards others. That would be my superpower.
What's something no one knows about you?
I'm not going to tell you. Is this being recorded?
Yeah, this is weird.
I'll tell you when the recording's off.
Okay. When you were my age, what did you want to be?
When I was your age, I wasn't sure what I wanted to be. I went to college not knowing even what my major was going to be. In fact, there was a point where I wasn't quite sure if I was going to go to college. And I even dropped out of college in the middle. I was struggling financially. I had to work 2 restaurant jobs. During that summer, it did make me determined to go back and finish my education. And I always found democracy and how government works really interesting. I grew up in a house where we volunteered a lot. I was a Girl Scout. My mom and I started a nonprofit called Oakland Cares, which is how I ended up volunteering at the Boys and Girls Club. So I really cared about my community, and political science seemed like kind of the study of that. So I became a political science major, but I never dreamed that I'd be a politician myself.
Thank you for standing up for the city of Oakland.
All day, every day. Well, Tyree, it is awesome to learn a little bit more about you. I can totally see why you are this year's Oakland Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year. I cannot wait to see all the great things you're going to accomplish. And don't forget to bring your love, your mentoring back to the Boys and Girls Club, whether it's in Oakland or wherever you end up living. You are really making us proud here in Oakland.
Thank you.
I loved hearing those personal stories. That was so fun. Thank you, Tyree and Mayor Libby Schaaf. Now, Tyree, if the business and the clothing line don't work out, you may have a career in journalism. That was pretty awesome to interview the mayor like that. All right, so now it's time for me to ask all of you, as the mayor said, to give generously. And we aren't all in the same room, so I'm reaching out to you through the internet to give your support. And it's so incredibly important to us. And we can't do the work of supporting the club student members without you. So we're going to start big with $5,000. And we've seen what great impact the clubs have had on Tyree, and we want to make sure that we keep those enrollment fees nominal for the families, and we're asking them just to pay $15 to $25 per year. But it costs almost $1,000 per year to provide those programs and services for each student member. So tonight, we're just asking you to help us bridge that gap. Your $5,000 donation will fund 5 scholarships to bridge the gap between what the families pay and what it costs to enroll 5 Oakland students. So let's check out some of the donations we have coming in right now. We're trying to get there to that goal. Every little bit really helps. So Richard Soffeld, thank you so much for your donation. And Franklin Foddery, thank you so much. And we're seeing so many of these. All right, it just jumped up there. So Michael Kahn, thank you for your donation. And Michael Ott, Rosaline Johnson, and Greg Alton. So we are thanking all of you, as well as the Banks Family Foundation for the $15,000 donation. Deepa and Adam Neary, thank you for your $5,000 donation. Let's keep it going. All right, so we're seeing those numbers going up. This is so exciting. So we want to make sure that we're getting these $5,000 donations so that we can help 5 families and get them enrolled in the Boys and Girls Club, as well as help them get to college and bridge that gap for them. Now, I know I asked you all to start really big as we are seeing some of these donations coming in, and I'd like to thank each and every one of you for those numbers. The Whalen Family Foundation, thank you for your $10,000 donation, and Butner Properties for your donation as well. Wells Fargo, $10,000 right there, and Comcast, $2,500. Calvester Stanley, thank you so much for your big donation, $500. And Richard Calloway. So you can see all of these adding up, and we're trying to get there to that $200,000 mark so you all can help us get there tonight and help these students throughout the school year, as well as getting to college. So we're going to step it down a little bit. If you can't do 5,000, how about 1,500? This will improve one student member's academic performance by as much as 2 grade levels with 30 hours of specialized one-on-one tutoring. Now, your gift at this level will be a game changer for a deserving student selected by BGCO staff with guidance from our clubhouse feeder schools and the teachers. And so let's check out some more of these donors we have coming in. Gordon Childress, thank you for your donation tonight. And Philippa Pegram, thank you for your donation as well. Vera Sims, wow, these are really getting pretty big here. Chris Sullivan, $257 there. Georgia Richardson, thank you so much for your donation. Snitzer Steel Industries, check that out. $15,000, and Ross Stores also giving $5,000. Dale and Courtney Brockmeyer, a big $5,000 donation there. We're doing pretty good here. Marnie and Darren Cottle, thank you so much for your $2,000. And so we just want to keep this energy going tonight, as you saw that one student is going to make a huge impact on Oakland, on the world, on the Bay Area. And we're just so excited to see what Tyree will do. All right, so let's continue to go here. We're going to see Bree's interview, and she's interviewing Pete Escovedo. So before we do that, we just want to share that we're going to have that coming up, but how about a $500 donation? Now, at $500, at this level, your support will ensure adequate computer technology, as well as access to the internet for one BGCO student member. Now, that is critically important in these times as we transition back to our non-virtual environment. And so let's see how many people we can get with that $500 donation, or continue with some of the higher tiers here. Joel Flood, thank you for your $1,000. All right, we see PricewaterhouseCoopers donating $20,000. And Catherine, thank you so much for your donation tonight. Richard, $103 there. And Franklin, we are appreciative of each and every one of you and what you can do to help out these students for tonight. So I just want to thank you all so much for your generosity. And if you haven't donated yet, don't worry, we still will have more opportunities. But first, it is my great pleasure to introduce last year's Youth of the Year, Bree, a young saxophone player, and her interview with percussionist Pete Escovedo.
thanks very much. I'm so pleased to be here tonight. I have with me last year's Youth of the Year, Bray. She's going to ask me some questions, but before she does, I have a few of my own to ask her. So, Bray, are you ready for my questions?
Yes, I am.
Okay, here we go, young lady. You were last year's Youth of the Year, and congratulations for that. And you're just finishing your first year of college. What was this year like for you? You know, it's been so unusual, one for all of us.
It was different, of course, because online schooling isn't really my thing as much, but I think thanks to like the teachers' help and my school help specifically, it went by pretty easily. I was hoping to play at the band for my school, but of course, because we had to limit the amount of like contact we have with each other, the band wasn't really a thing. But we did have some online recordings.
And what instrument do you play, or do you play a number of instruments?
I mean, I try to tell myself that I can play more than one instrument. I really stick to alto saxophone the most.
Do you have a favorite artist that you look up to or admire?
Out of everyone, I listen to Dexter Gordon the most. I mean, I just like both his personality and like his sound. Like he has a big sound. I mean, he plays just like a hint before behind the beat, so it sounds like he's like behind, but he's not. He's just like really laid back to the point. Like,
so even admiring someone's playing, and I'm the same way. I kind of look at the person too, and I like, if I really like their playing and their personality. I think I've covered just about most of the questions I wanted to ask you. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions for you, actually. Have you had, any shows or anything since March at all?
I played a show a year ago, February, at Yoshi's on Valentine's Day. That was my last live performance, believe it or not. So it's been over a year since we've been able to do a concert or play in front of an audience.
Do you have like any plans for a tour or like a performance anytime soon?
Yeah, actually, I'm going back to Yoshi's in July. I generally go there to celebrate my birthday on July the 13th, but we're doing July 9, 10, and 11, 3 nights at Yoshi's coming up. And I'm so looking forward to it because I've been working on a new CD, being that we've had the time to do this. Me and my son, Peter Michael, I hope to have it ready by the time I perform at Yoshi's.
Well, have you had like any musicians or like people who like really influence you?
Yes, I've always followed Latin percussion from being a young student of it, and I met Tito Puente when I was 18 years old. And he actually was playing in a club in San Francisco. So I went there, me and my brothers, we went there to just, listen to the music. And we were so overwhelmed with, the way they performed and his orchestra and the music that he played. So we went backstage to say hello and meet them. And our very first meeting, he embraced us like we were his lost nephews or something, He actually is my daughter Sheila's godfather. And so, family-wise, we became very close. And
so I have another question for you.
Sure.
So what are you most proud of in your music career?
I'm proud of the fact that, first of all, that I have accomplished what I wanted to accomplish in my life. And not too many people can say that because a lot of times you have a dream and sometimes those dreams don't come true. Coming from a broken family, because my mom and dad, they got divorced when I was, 4 or 5 years old. Me and myself and my younger brother were put into an orphanage, a home. So we spent time there wondering what in the world's going to happen to us. Where are we going in the future? What are we going to do? And that being said, was probably the best thing that ever happened to me.
I have one last question too. I think this one would be my closing question too. But what advice do you have for anyone watching, who aspires to also be a musician?
Life goes by so fast. If you wait too long, you lose that dream because you get into something else and say, "Wow, I wish I would have done this. Or I wish I could have." Yeah, it's like going up a ladder. You take one step at a time to get to the top, and hopefully you get to the top. Hopefully it's well worth it. After it's all said and done, and you say, "Wow, this is really cool."
Yeah.
Yeah, there you look. You can look in the mirror and say, "Yeah, baby, I did something." Yeah, cool.
I just want to thank you again for this opportunity, and
we'll talk again.
We'll talk again. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
I love that. And to hear Pete's story and where he is now. And I'm so looking forward to going to check him out at Yoshi's. That's like my husband and I's favorite date night spot. So thank you, Bree, and thank you, Pete. Now let's start our next Fund the Need. Let's start this time with $3,000. Now, through things that are slowly picking up and going back to normal, keeping the doors open to our kids club during the pandemic was such a challenge. We are still incurring significant costs. And you think about how much it costs for all of the stepped up sanitation, from wipes to sanitizers, cleaners, the personal protection equipment, masks, and the digital thermometers, the touchless items and social distancing tools, such as the touchless sinks and the water fountains, the floor markers, the signs, all of that stuff costs money. The signs, the rolling partitions, and so much more. So to help them safely operate our clubs for the deserving youth of Oakland, your donation at this level will fund a month of sanitation costs for our 3 clubs. So let's check out some of those numbers coming in. All right, we're seeing it getting closer to the goal. We're almost there, but we still need every little bit to help. And of course, that $3,000 donation will go a long way. We're at $187,000, and we have not yet made it to the goal. So let's keep it rolling here. Thank you so much, Jocelyn, for your donation, and Greg. Scott, thank you so much for your donation tonight, and Gordon Childress for that donation as well. Philippa, thank you for yours. As we are seeing all of these coming on the screen, we need your name on there as well to keep these numbers going up. So we need your money to continue to come in. Now, $3,000 is a lot, but how about $2,500? Your donation of $2,500 will enable 35 deserving youths to take online and digital animation classes via BGCO partner WazEd. So that $2,500 donation will cover 4 cloud-based computer video production modules to help these 35 children kindle their interest in the digital animation facet of STEM ranging. They will learn a variety of skills, from editing and stop motion movie making, writing and animating their own stories. So that will really help them out with these cloud-based video production modules. And before I turn it over to the Boys and Girls Club of Oakland, President and CEO Cal Stanley, I have one more ask. Of course, we keep saying every dollar counts, and we are still seeing those numbers going up. As we start to emerge from the COVID-19 pandemic, many children still lack the access to these programs that they had prior to the pandemic. And so if you can do a $250 donation that will provide arts and crafts kits for 25 student members, that would really help out, just $250. And these kits will provide supplies that the children don't typically have access to during those non-school hours. As these donations continue to come up on the screen, we are seeing the numbers. Yes. All right. It just jumped again. All right. $192,000. So we're almost to that goal. Whatever you can do, whether it's big or small, it really helps to add up. And so we're getting very close and we don't have a lot of time left. So we'd like to match that goal or even go above that because of how much it costs to keep everything clean, sanitized, safe for our kids. Of course, they can't yet get vaccinated. So we're still having to do all of these safety protocols. We thank the Banks Family Foundation for your big $15,000 donation and Veronica Funtleroy for your donation of $2,566. Leah, thank you for your $5 donation. And the Whalen Family Foundation, thank you for your $10,000 donation. Butner Properties, as well as Wells Fargo, giving those big contributions, as well as Comcast. So we thank each and every one of you, whether it's $250, $3,000, $10,000, it's all helping us get to our goal. And so once again, thank you for your generosity. If you haven't yet donated, don't worry, you'll still have another opportunity. But before that, we want to definitely welcome the man that many of you know very well. He is the heart and soul of our clubs, Cal Stanley. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you, Kari. I appreciate your gracious introduction. We also appreciate your lending your time and considerable talents to our Salute to Youth event this evening. On behalf of our many girl and boy student members, staff, and board, it's my great honor to welcome everyone to our 32nd annual Salute to Youth event, which I hope will be the last one that we do virtually. Thank you for demonstrating your support for our mission by joining us again, for many of you, to celebrate our Youth of the Year. Boys and Girls Clubs of Oakland is eternally grateful to our sponsors for believing in the validity of our mission to develop our community's youth into positive contributors to society, and our ability to deliver it to our kids and families who need us most. You've gotten to meet two of them tonight and to see them in action, the poise, skill, and confidence that they've developed as they've grown into young adults. And it was the club that did the same work for me when I was a young person. It seems like yesterday, but it was 1973 when I was the Youth of the Year. 19 years later, in 92, I was the CEO. At this time, we'd like to thank our sponsors as of showtime, our presenting sponsor at the $30,000 level, Gilead Sciences, diamond sponsor at the $20,000 level, PricewaterhouseCoopers. Platinum sponsors at the $15,000 level include Athens Administrators, the Banks Family Foundation, and Schnitzer Steel. Gold sponsors at the $10,000 level include the Dan Vera Foundation, Dan and Catherine Whalen, Butner Properties, and Wells Fargo. And bronze sponsors at the $5,000 level include Deepa and Adam Neary, Dale and Courtney Brockmeyer, and Ross Dress for Less. We deeply appreciate the time that you took to join us tonight, and I ask that you take advantage of your last opportunity tonight to dig deep and really show our kids that their lives really do matter, that they can get through these uncertain times, and that they do have a chance at a great future, and that you really do have their backs. Thank you again. I hope you've enjoyed this evening's program. And I'd like to also mention Pete Escovedo is actually an alumnus of our club as well. So we appreciate our alumni coming on home to help us to help today's kids who need it now more than ever. Again, thanks a million for helping.
Thank you so much, Cal. You think about all of the people it's impacted, including yourself, and being able to give back to the city of Oakland as a young child, needing those services, and then coming back and also helping out and giving that hand up to more students to really make a difference in the community. So I do thank you so much for doing that. All right, it's time for our final Fund the Need. This is your last chance. Come on, let's be generous behind those screens. Now, earlier tonight, we asked you to sponsor 5 children. How about one? As I mentioned earlier, it costs BGCO about $1,000 to provide those programs and services to each student member. And we keep those costs low for the families. So we need your help to bridge that gap with a $1,000 donation. So let's check it out. We're getting closer to the number, but we're just not quite there yet. And you think about how much it costs for just sanitizing the club, bringing those kids back safely, making sure that they have all of the tools that they need for making movies, arts and crafts, those one-on-one services to keep the kids doing much better in school. So we really do need each and every one of you and your support to help us meet our goal and also hopefully go above and beyond that. Gina, thank you so much for your donation. And James, we have Eric, who also donated $100. Mary, just $26. That really is a big help. And we have so many of those coming in. And the numbers are still going up. Let's keep it going. We are not done just yet. $193,000 coming in so far. And we are just a little under $7,000 to our goal. So we need each and every one of you to really dig deep and think about the impact you'll be having on the community and being able to provide those services so that the parents don't have to come out of their pockets to make this happen. We know that there's just such a big gap between what the parents have to provide, all of that money. And so we really do need the community's help to bridge that gap, as we say, to keep that going. Now, we've asked for some large amounts tonight, and I know that we need each and every one of you to give big, but if you haven't given yet, just consider a $100 donation. We've had quite a few of those. They really do help get us to our goal. Even if that's all you can do, the donation will provide the fitness kits for 4 students to use them from home as they participate in the health and PE programs that they've missed out on during the pandemic. And we know that physical activity is really important. So even just $100 will help get us closer to our goal for tonight. So we can see some of the donations still coming in with Metrovation at $5,000. Paul and Susan Grossberg giving $2,500. Thank you so much for that. And we're still not yet to our goal. So we're just going to keep asking you to dig deep, think about the children, think about the services that the Boys and Girls Club of Oakland provides and the future that we could have if they don't have to come out of pocket or if they're not lacking everything that they need to have a successful school year as well as a bright future. We can see the impact that had on Tyree and being able to go to college tonight, looking forward to that bright future of being able to be a future businessman and already starting up his own business. That's pretty impressive. So as we look at some of the donations that are coming in, once again, we do want to thank each and every one of you for your generosity for tonight. So we have, of course, our corporate sponsors that we have bringing in those big donations. But as we mentioned, just even $100 helps out quite a bit with the fitness equipment, even just the arts and crafts and just being able to give some of the money that would help the kids develop an interest in STEM. I'm a meteorologist, and so we need so many more people in meteorology and to take interest in science and things like that, the technology. Of course, that's where our future is going. So we need these kids to be able to have those resources there available to be able to pursue those careers and be able to do much better with math and some of those classes to get that one-on-one attention to help increase those grade levels. So we are still well off of our goal. So we still need for you all to dig deep, maybe call a friend, somebody say, hey, this is going on. Check in on the website really quick, give what you can, and really help us reach our goal. Gina, thank you so much for your donation tonight. And Veronica, thank you for your $1,000 donation. Michael, we have Michael Kahn, and we have Michael Kahn again. So I think you doubled back, and that's definitely what we're looking forward to, for you to say, okay, I think I can give a little bit more. And once again, we're just asking for each and every one of you to put a post on social media. So if you could just do something like that really quick, and maybe get a friend who kind of forgot that this was going on tonight, and give them a call or give them that reminder to reach out to us and help us reach our goal, because we are not just there yet. You can text 41444 and type in the message youth, and you'll be able to get a prompt to give a donation that way as well. We're making it easy for you just through your smartphone. And we definitely like to thank the Athens administrators for their $15,000 donation. And some of the numbers that we see coming on the screen, some of the people who just gave $5,000 or people who gave $5, it all helps us out getting closer to our goal. And so we are still trying to get it to the $200,000. So hopefully you can help. Or if you've done all that you can, just reach out to one friend and see if someone can at least match your donation. So we are still going to keep this going until we get to our goal. And let's see, we have another update on how much it's going up. So we've gone to sleep tonight, I guess. But we do appreciate each and every one of you for all that you have given. All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this up and see if we have any more donations coming in. Hopefully you still have that opportunity to give. And we just want to thank each and every one of you for supporting the Boys and Girls Club of Oakland. And we so look forward to having a future event, hopefully very soon in person. So I want you all to have a great night, and thank you so much for your support.